Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Welcome to another edition of Talking Ish with Dub, Chris, and Mizzle. We hope to entertain you guys. I know my brother Chris got a lot of ish to talk.
Dude. More than anybody knows. Oh, man. Just a bit outside. Miss good old Uke, man. Gonna miss that boy.
Hey, that's a good way to come in with it, Dub, with that one. That's a perfect one right there, brother.
Yeah, I like that.
I do too. Gonna miss that, man.
Tremendously. I
don't care. Fuck technology.
Tell us how you really feel.
Right? Angry.
Fuck
right?
technology.
I mean, look at his face, though. You can see it all in his face that he's angry. Hold on, let me turn the microphone color to red right now. Let me get the red. This guy is hot.
Hotter than hot.
No, what is the use of having two laptops and all you do is buffer? What's the use?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah, I'm there with you, brother. I'm there with you.
What's the use?
I don't know. But Dub, we just did something before you got on. So we upped our tier on StreamYard.
Not right now.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Are you buffering?
Are you buffering now?
You look good.
I mean, we can see you.
No, I can hear, but now. No, my problem is when y'all start to talk, y'all start to sound like robots because the other laptop wants to be an ass. Again, what is the use of having two laptops? I use my phone for information. I'm not trying to get on my phone to do this show.
I understand. I totally get it. Totally get it.
Right now, I'm about to be like Bob Uecker and start swinging at these laptops and breaking some stuff like I'm Limp Bizkit.
Did you say like your Limp Bizkit?
Yes. Yes.
Oh man,
Dub, we're laughing with
it's
you.
all about the he said, she said bullshit. Yes, that Biscuit, that song, breaking stuff. Yes.
Yes.
So brother,
Somebody asked me about this picture today.
You know what? I'll do. I'll give myself that right now.
That's what you're giving right now for sure. There's a lot of passion coming out of you right now.
Yes, passion.
I cannot deny that. There's passion for sure. Well,
angry passion, but passion nonetheless.
And as he put the passion thing up there, he froze. So now I have to take care of it.
Oh man.
Oh, but
I think we should. I think we should pitch in and get him a laptop that does nothing but shows.
I'm down.
Tell him don't put nothing else on it. Just do shows.
I'm down. Just look. I think I get my my work bonus here in March. So if it's a decent one, I'll slide a little something to pitch in to get Brother Dub a better laptop. Because because that picture right there is just perfect.
So it tells you everything you need to know. Everything you need to know.
Yes.
So we were talking backstage, if you will, because anybody who is watching will know that we can kind of put things on backstage before we come out live.
Correct.
And if you have questions or anything, you could definitely jump in the comments. A lot of people will come in later. We do this a little willy-nilly. It's not always on the same day at the same time or any of that BS, but the bottom line is, we give our picks, and I was going to have Dub tell where we finished. We know that we both owe that man a bottle of Crown, unfortunately.
I sent him my Dub. I sent him my portion already.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
I'm gonna make it easy. I'm just gonna go buy one and hand it to him and say, "Yeah, you got me." I don't know what else I could say.
Next year, it's on though. F that. It's on next year.
Oh man, we finished. I think, and we'll when he comes back on, we'll get it the final scores. But I would say that 4 games separated all of us.
Yep.
I don't think it was much,
no.
but
And you were on my woo. You made me start sweating towards the end of the year, though. No lie.
Man, look, my pick'ems, I was here. I'll tell you on my run your yard or run the yard or run your pool. Excuse me, run your pool. Keep thinking about other things. Let's see. I want to see where I finished. I finished at 183 wins and 89 losses.
Ooh.
Well over 500, almost 100 games over 500. I think within ours, I think I finished 194 and something. I think you finished like 196 and something, and I think Dub was the one that got us at like 200. So when he comes back up, we'll talk about that. But no, man, when we're talking backstage, the other thing I was telling you was we had a little discussion about my Cowboys. Stop making up stats. Shut up, Will.
The greatest referee in the world, ladies and gentlemen, making his presence felt already, Mr. Franklin.
Will, don't make me put the picture of you sliding to get the hell out the way of a sack on this show. I will put it up. I will embarrass you in a heartbeat. So be nice to your brothers, man. Stop it. So, we had so two things. First off, I got asked about the picture that's behind me. Somebody actually saw this picture and said, "Chris, is that really you, number 2?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was me, much younger when I used to play. Yes, that was me." But going past that, and this is the thing that we were just so, Ms. You and I were talking about earlier. How do you have these people that, other than clicks, would sit there and talk about the Cowboys trading away Dak Prescott, and you saw it, I showed it to you, for the number 1 pick overall, the number 4 pick, and the number 3 pick in 2026. I understand where people will come from and say, "Oh, well, that's a pretty good haul." Yes, it is. The problem with that haul is what they don't talk about, and what they don't say is the $104 million cap hit that the Cowboys would have to take this year. And the salary cap for this year alone is only $272 million. Oof. Where the hell does that make sense? Anybody who read that and said, "Oh yeah, that's a possibility," y'all are stupid. I'm just going to say it straight up. Y'all are stupid. Nobody in the right mind does that.
No. Go ahead, Dub.
Dub, don't play with my feelings, man. He said because of stupid ass owner Jerry Jones. Jerry ain't that. Jerry might be dumb, but he ain't that dumb. That ain't never gonna happen. I'm just calling it now. That ain't gonna happen. But
well, now does Dion play a factor in this?
Okay, let me ask you something. Let's say that he does. What kind of team are you going to put out on the field only having roughly $162 million to play with?
Yeah,
and 20. Now don't forget, you got a roster of 53, right? Mm-hmm. You have 53 men that you could put on a roster. You have 27 free agents right now.
You ain't signing nobody.
Who's playing football? Playing football?
But you only dress 46 out of that 53.
It's true, you do only dress 46, though, but still,
if they get rid of
if you get rid of 27 players, I know there's got to be a minimum. So what are you saying? Okay, for all of 2025, the Cowboys are going to field a team of 36 players because that's all you got money for.
Yeah, that's horrible. That whoever thought of that was looking. That's clickbait like a mug.
They weren't thinking.
Oh yeah,
that was all.
They
clickbait.
weren't.
They were reaching for clickbait.
But we do have 4 matchups. But before we get started, as you can see, obviously, I'm using an end today because Mizzle unfortunately had to send me the news that
Man, I hate that I be having to send you this in the morning. Like when I see it, I'm like, I don't want to send it to him. But it's like
I did the same thing. I saw it this morning. I sent it to him, and he was like, "I've been upset all day," and I'm like, "Damn, I don't want to send this to him, man."
It's just you. Okay.
Hell, who did I send you the other day? Just the other day, I sent you somebody else. Was it Gumble? Was it Gumble I sent?
It was probably Greg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sent me,
it was.
I think I sent that to
Greg.
all of us.
You sent me Greg.
Yeah, you
sent
sent
me
it to me
Ricky.
too.
It's just I've been trying to put the words together. Truthfully speaking, what really can you not say about Bob Uecker?
The hell with him.
That's one thing you can say. Yes.
and my favorite is still what he has written down there. Just a bit outside.
I sent that because they had it on Twitter. I sent it to him, and all he just sent back was hella crying emojis.
But even though
wait, here we go. Wait. Ball 4, ball 8, ball 12. How can you swing at those when they're so close?
No. He's gonna need a rocket up his ass to catch that one.
Wait, Doug. Oh shit.
If that's not Shaquille O'Neal in left field, that baby's out of here.
Oh shit.
Needless to say, Bob Uecker is a treasure.
Yes, he is.
54 years, he was the voice of the Milwaukee Brewers, and of course,
wow.
In the late 70s, early 80s, he was on ABC Sports. Now, just picture this, folks. Al Michaels, the great Al Michaels, did Major League Baseball. And on one side of him, he had Howard Cosell. On the other side of him, he had Bob Uecker.
Oh, God.
Talk
about that would have been fun calling those games.
Right.
That would have been a snot load of fun calling those games.
There are some on YouTube. And of course, then in the late 90s, Bob worked on NBC with Bob Costas and Joe Morgan. Of course, received the Ford Frick Award in 2003. And he did not have not one single sheet of paper for his Hall of Fame speech. Yep. Like Paul Heyman, Bob Uecker simply winged it, and the whole entire crowd in Cooperstown were crying in laughter. The man.
Damon, you were right. We did lose a good one, man. We lost a real good one today.
Up until I want to say 2022 or 2023. He never signed a contract with the Brewers to do their games. It was always simply a handshake with the owner, which of course former MLB Commissioner Bud Selig was the owner for Brewers for a long time, and then to the current ownership, his contract was simply a handshake. The only reason why he signed a contract was because there was a cut in his Screen Actors Guild benefits. And so he signed the contract just so the Brewers can pay for his health insurance. That's the only reason why Bob Uecker ever signed a contract to do radio for the Brewers. And then,
so the man was willing to do it for free, just because he loved it.
He was getting paid, but the organization was like, he's one of us. We don't need to give him a contract because is you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hold on. Just real quick. Just real quick, and I know my answer to this, and I think I know Dub's answer to this. Dub, you and I call A7FL games.
Correct.
If we got a call to call an NFL game, would you give to what's about pay? I wouldn't. I could care less. I couldn't care less. I mean, to me that would. You want to pay, dude? Me watching the game live and calling a NFL game live. Please, man, you don't need to pay me. Me sitting up in the booth watching it is enough.
To follow in the footsteps, and Lord knows I have many broadcasting influences, but I mean to do the same thing that Vern and Pat and Al and Don Crickey and Dick Gimber got to do for a living. I mean, like I said, I definitely do it for free, but I mean, if you want to compensate me, I'm not going to say no to that too. But just
true.
To give the opportunity just to be called one game at a football stadium and be inside an NFL stadium broadcast booth, that's the ultimate reason of why I've been given the honor and privilege to call A7 games, because again, this is. I mean, Corey talked about it last night before he went on a tangent about this is why we care about the league that we work in.
Sorry, I don't mean to giggle, but that wasn't just a tangent, but that was funny. I was trying not to laugh through some of it.
But, I mean, this is why I tell people, this is why I go hard in these podcasts. Because, like I said, this is what I've wanted to do since I was 5 years old. It has never changed.
Yep.
And you can ask anybody that knew me from childhood to people that I went to high school with. And Miz will tell you, I used to use an erasable pen as a microphone
And a
and would
number
hold
2
up to
pencil.
people's mouths and interview them. But the funny thing is, they would actually speak into it like I'm interviewing them.
Because we knew your passion. We didn't want to. Well, I knew a few times you came up and did to me. I looked at you. I'm like, get that shit out of my face. I'm like, wait, bring your ass back here. You know that it was fun. You had the passion.
And then
this was my first passion. This was my first passion,
Mm-hmm.
and now it is there. It's two-sided because I love doing the podcast with you guys. I love doing the broadcasting, which has now become a passion of mine. And the bigger passion that I still have is teaching. So, being able to go out there and work with wide receivers is definitely a major passion of mine. That there's a lot of information in here that I want to bestow on other wide receivers to go out there and play the game that I love, and to watch them excel is something that is personally gratifying for me. So, no, I feel what you guys are saying, and but trust me when I say I definitely feel your passion when we're calling games together.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's for me getting to broadcast games, and for us being sports fans, for those few hours, it takes us away from the stress of adulting and paying bills and worrying about stuff.
Not the truth.
Like how Dominic Toretto says, for those 10 seconds or less when I'm street racing, I'm free.
Yep.
When I'm in the booth, be it with you or Scotty, or doing these podcasts with the two of you guys, or being a recurring guest on the Joffos, for that hour and a half, 2 hours that I'm doing those podcasts, I'm free. It's like
Yep.
I am in my place of peace, if you will.
Hell.
Now, don't get me wrong. I would love Tony Romo or Troy Aikman's paycheck. I'm okay with that.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
18 and $17 million. I'm good with that. You want to pay me that a year? I'm good.
Yeah. I enjoyed when I came out there and did that broadcast with you guys. That was real fun, and it gave me to want to come out there and do it more. Like I want more of that. It felt like it was too quick and too short. And I went back. Definitely. And I went back and listened to it and watched it. For me to be the first time, and you guys have been doing it for a while, it seemed like I just fit with you guys. We all flowed off each other. It wasn't like you thought it was kind of scripted and like we was reading off a sheet, but we know ball. And that's what, if you know ball, you can talk ball.
Well, true.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't.
That's how I felt when I did that indoor football league scrimmage with Rob and Corey. It felt like I had worked with them for years, and that was just the first time working with them.
Yeah.
Up in Bullhead City when I did the second half of the Saints Kings game. It was like,
But you know what? It's one of those things that when you start to call a game, and when you know football, I mean, look, the first couple of games, Doug, that you and I did together with Scotty, and we're calling the games, and I'm calling the play before the play happens. It's one of those things you get used to seeing plays, and you get used to seeing alignments. But the bigger thing about it is when you're sitting up in the booth and you could see how teams align, and you could see the one thing that I never said, that when an offensive lineman is going to fire off, he actually leans forward just a little bit more because it's a run play. If he's going to pass block, he tends to lean back just a little bit more because he's letting everything come to him. So it's interesting to be able to sit up there and watch that. Exactly. So, I mean, there's a lot of little things that people don't understand. And then when you talk to them about football and they think they know what's going on, and you listen to some of the stuff that they talk about and you kind of giggle because you're like, dude, I have no idea what you just said. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. What are you seeing?
So it's like, to explain to me what you're seeing, because what you're talking about doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. So it is what it is. But I did, Dub, I don't know if you heard us. We're discussing this. Where did we finish on our picks for the year? We know that we owe you the crown. You are the king for this.
What's our numbers? What's our numbers?
What's our final numbers?
And while you're looking that up, I'll tell you that as you notice, if you look up there, we are also streaming on the outside of the ball network too. The other side of the ball. We Chris has decided to join in on this, and so all three of us are taking care of the StreamYard bill. So
Okay.
because he
We're
got
doing a
kicked
lot
out.
more now.
Yeah, he got kicked out for some odd reason. We can only have on the plan that we had. It was only me and you can be the host. And remember, so we are now. We got 15 seats. No, 15. We can have 15 people on, and we can broadcast at like 8 to 10 pages. So.
Oh wow. Well.
So now we could get the name out there.
We're professional.
Now we got to make this a regular show. We got to make this a regular show now.
I know we got to get the YouTube picture. We got to get the Talking Ish picture on the YouTube page.
Well,
we could do that.
I'll just say this, and not to toot our own horns, but all I'm gonna say is the three of us, we can pick some games because obviously we were well over 500. So.
That yeah.
So
like I say, when you know ball, you know ball.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna tell you about over unders and money line because that's not my shtick. But as far as picking games,
oh yeah,
pretty doggone good. Real quickly, let's just recap what we saw during wildcard weekend. Really,
Okay.
5 of them were blowouts. One game we expected to be a good. It did not disappoint. Of course, the Commanders and the Buccaneers came down to the wire. Justin Herbert threw 4 interceptions in Houston.
Didn't see that happen.
Defense applied pressure as the Houston Texans out-physical the Chargers 32-12. The Ravens showed why they paid.
Good game in the first half, though.
Did not.
Hey, just answer one question. Do you guys know if Derrick Henry gets a bonus for truck stick?
He should.
But he should.
He should.
I was gonna say,
get off me,
dude. That boy should be winning angry runs every weekend.
Yes,
he is, man.
Look,
if I was a cornerback trying to tackle him, I would be making some business decisions too.
100%.
The Ravens showed why they paid that money for him, as Derrick Henry went up, around, all through the Steelers to the atonement of 186 and 2 DDs as the Ravens beat the Steelers 2014. Broncos got the early 7-0, but James Cook said, "Josh, give me the ball," and he ran up around and through the Broncos. Bills win 31-7. Yes, the Eagles got the win, but it was a very sloppy win. It was only 10-0 at halftime, and the Eagles did everything to try to keep the Packers in the game. But in hindsight, the Packers got within 16-10, but the Eagles had just enough at the end to beat them. But I'll save it for later on the show. But Eagles got the win 22-10. Of course, the best game of the weekend, a wildcard weekend, was Commanders and Buccaneers. Came down to the wire. A doink that went in the favor of the Commanders.
Not the doink.
Sends the Commanders into Detroit, and then on Monday
he looked
night,
nervous walking on the field.
Yeah,
you clearly see he was nervous as shit.
Yeah, he was trying to calm himself down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But on Monday night, complete Rams domination. The Rams defense made Sam Darnold see ghosts, as the Rams
which we knew.
The Rams treated it like a business trip and took care of business over the Vikings. And Sam Darnold, who was probably due to make some cash in 25, might have taken a pay cut with his play.
Dude, look, let's be real. Sam Darnold is a backup. He showed himself to be a little bit more than that throughout the season, but the Rams made him look like a backup again on Monday night. And the thing about it is, when you see that as a coach, knowing how you have tried to coach, and look at the weapons that he had around him. The fact of the matter is, he was trying to. You saw him patting the ball way too much, even when when it was collapsing. So here's the thing: as a coach, you know the rush is getting to your quarterback. Shorten up your routes. Make it so that way he could get the ball out on time. So that way he isn't having the problems. But the thing that I saw wasn't the fact that they weren't shortening up the routes. It was the fact that he was trying to get the chunk plays. The shorter routes were there. But he just kept on patting the ball, trying to get the chunk play, and, fumbling it. He was sacked, 9 times?
9.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
How many players had at least a half a sack?
I think the whole defensive line plus two of the corners.
That sounds about right.
They all ate on Monday night, man. They all ate. And the thing about it is you had their two rookies from Florida State were beasts in that game. Yes.
Mr. Verse can show that he can do somersaults and jump in the air. That man had some tremendous, ridiculous hang time on that dive into the end zone on the fumble recovery.
And then wasn't he the one that did that? He dove for the tackle too. Was that him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, full-fledged. Yep. Good Lord.
Yep.
Let's see.
Rookies.
Had 1.5 sacks. Young had 1.5 sacks. Turner.
Whoa! Stop right there. You know Gilmore's an ex-quarterback or ex-Cowboy.
Neville Gilmore, number 92.
Yep.
Oh, no wonder Chris is shaking his head. He had 1.5 sacks. Byron Young had 1.5 sacks. Kobe Turner had 2 sacks. Michael Hoyt had half a sack. Kilo Witherspoon, a former 49er, go figure, he had 1 sack. I'm talking about the secondary. Kobe Durant had a sack. Deshaun Johnson had a sack. Brandon Fisk had a half sack. That's your 9 total sacks by the Rams defense on Sam Darnold.
11 players on the field. 9 of them had at least half a sack.
Yes.
That's crazy. Crazy. In a playoff game.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs. Talking about playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Talking about playoffs?
I just hope we can win a game.
Man. So,
but
we've got
but we really got some good matchups this upcoming weekend. And
I agree. I was just hold on. I was just getting to. I wanted to pull them up real quick, so I want to be able to take a look at them as we're talking.
So kicking it off, it is the Chiefs and the Houston Texans, a rematch from the.
I'm hoping that game is going to be better than how I'm thinking the outcome will be.
So here's the thing that's still kind of chomping in, I'm looking at the totals. So they got Kansas City, the spread's -8, totals 41.5, and the money line is on Houston at +360. So
because they were 9.5. Kansas City.
Yeah,
it's kind of come down a bit.
Well, I think what they're doing is betting is going the other way right now because of the big spread. Yep. So you got the line dropping, and I know we don't usually talk about lines, and I'm only doing it because of what we see betting wise going on right now. But as far as I'm concerned, it's still the Kansas City Chiefs. To be the man, you got to beat the man, and they're still the man. So, am I happy about that? No. Was it interesting to watch all the referees roll out in Kansas City and clear the runway for them so they could come home after that game? No, but it is what it is. They're the darlings of the NFL right now. Can't do anything wrong, and Mahomes plays it like he knows. Hey, if I throw this inerrant pass, we're going to get that pass interference call.
Facts.
And the fact that he still puts ketchup on his steak. What?
Well, what do you expect, man? He lives in Kansas City.
Don't put ketchup on steak.
Well, we all know that, but he's a young man. He probably puts A1 on his eggs.
Oh, see, backwards.
Exactly, ass backwards.
And I wonder why you call him Kermit the Frog here.
There we go.
Well, I always like to talk like him because I find it interesting for him to say, "Did you see that pass I threw? Did you see it? Did you see it?"
I look. It's going to be hard for the Texans to go into Kansas City and win, because the one thing that we're not talking about is weather, and I think it's going to be cold as hell. And the game is at. Whoops.
10 a.m.
Game is at 1:30. No, it's at 1:30.
Okay.
So because it's showing me 1:30, I'm thinking it's 1:30 our time, which means it's
It
going to
is
be
1:30
4:30 their
it's
time.
1:30 Pacific. It would be 3:30 because I think they're in the Central Time.
Yeah, I think
Zone.
they're 2 hours ahead. Yeah, I think
they're
you're
Yeah,
right.
so-
So
so-
be
So
It's gonna
3:30
be cold.
Central. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be cold as hell.
And by the time they get to what the third, fourth quarter, the sun is going to be gone.
Yep.
It's
Well,
Woo!
let's see. While you guys are talking, I'm gonna see what the weather is for Kansas City.
okay.
Well, this will have. Well, I mean, if I'm the Texans, this is where I would lean heavily on Joe Mixon to try to maintain time of possession and try to give the Chiefs less possession with the ball if I can.
Well, what I will also use as well is what they were doing last week. They were using Nico with quick slants, getting the ball out of his hand quick. I would continue that and also use Joe Mixon in the screen game. Get a little screen passes, get him rolling. He needs to be touching the ball a lot, but
yeah, because you don't need 95 in red and gold chasing
No.
after you.
no. So you got to get everything
Well-
has to be like this.
But the problem with that is, if either one of you tried to throw or catch a frozen football,
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No. But I can get an idea where you're going with this.
33 for the high, 15 for the low.
What's the okay? My question is, what's the wind?
There you go.
13 miles an hour.
No, thank you. Mm-mm.
Nope. Yeah, so you
Coming
can
out of the
subtract-
north.
You can subtract a little. You can subtract a little bit of degree on that with the wind. Yeah, you can drop it down a little bit.
Wind chill?
Nope.
No, thank you. Mm-mm.
Hey, you know what?
No.
Be glad they're playing Saturday and not
Not
Sunday.
in,
Because if they were playing Sunday, high 15 degrees, low 4.
that's Buffalo. Buffalo is at what 14? It's gonna be like 14
Buffalo was covered in
degrees
snow.
when they play.
Buffalo was covered in snow. Orchard Park was in snow again.
It's gonna be a
Let's
pure
see.
whiteout. Pure whiteout. Buffalo's gonna be. But I think for the Texans to win, they're gonna have to play. Will Anderson is gonna have to have a game of his fucking
I
life.
agree. He's gonna have to.
Okay, so what hold on. What day is Buffalo playing?
Sunday.
Saturday or Sunday? Sunday? Yeah, high of 20, high
they
of
are the
20,
late
low of
game
12.
Sunday.
Low of 12. And by the
Okay.
way, 80% chance of snow on Saturday.
Okay.
So they're probably going to have to dig out again on Sunday.
Oh, they already were. They already were as late as yesterday. They were already digging out snow out the seats.
Well, they always do.
Mafia live for that shit.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
live for
20
that shit.
$20 an hour.
Now again, I'm sure Baltimore can play in the cold, not cold like this.
Oh yeah, because it snows in Baltimore. It gets
But not
cold,
like-
but it ain't not that cold.
Not like Orchard Park.
Shit.
Nothing like Orchard Park.
Yeah, good luck.
Hell, I can't even stand 30. What we get to the low. The other
40s.
last night coming home, it was I want to say 40 something degrees when I left out the building to come home.
Mhm.
I can't stand that.
Well, it's 42 right now. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no.
Hey, look,
42 okay,
look. I've been in.
42 is not bad. It's the wind part.
Yes.
It's the wind part.
I've been in Toronto when it was 12 degrees
Oh God
with
bless you.
a 30-mile-an-hour wind.
God bless you.
Man,
God bless you,
look,
Chris
look.
Farrell.
You know how when it's cold and it's windy, your nose runs.
Yep.
Yeah, you're walking by dudes with snot frozen in their mustache.
Snot crystals.
No, snot crystals frozen in their mustaches.
Frozen crystals. That's crazy.
Yep.
Frozen. Nope. I don't need that.
No,
I do not need that.
I don't
Nope.
need that in my. I do not need that in my life. No.
And these grown men out there playing football, some of them out there warming up with no gear on. What I mean by no gear, I know they got the little tight pants on or whatever, but no shirt. Out there just no.
Yeah, in those temperatures, heat gear is barely going to help you. So,
I'm gonna be hugged up on that little heat warmer thing like this, like yeah.
well, they got heated seats, which is nice, but you still,
Right.
you got to have that heat
So-
blown on you.
Yeah.
So here's the final tally mark for the season.
Here we go.
Yes.
I finish at 167 and 70. Mizzle finishes at 163 and 76. Chris finishes at
3
at
games.
160 and 76.
So
I told you 4 games have separated
Yep.
us.
Yep.
It's crazy.
We
So,
know how to
again,
pick them.
Yeah. So
So,
I
Will
think
Franklin, if you're still listening, and you said that you said us ninjas couldn't pick nothing. Well, guess what, bro? Maybe you should listen more often.
Hey, and I think probably some of those picks that we lost on, we were probably trying to. That was our trying to get ahead of someone.
Yeah.
Trying to catch up. It was that we wanted to make that. We knew who was going to win, but it's like, damn, I know he's going to pick that.
I will say this. Mizzle did pick up a game because he lucked out with the Cardinals beating my sorry-ass 49ers.
I thought I picked the Niners, too. That's the damn thing.
No, you picked the Cardinals.
I picked the Niners not knowing that your quarterback was hurt for that game. Otherwise, I would have picked the Cardinals, too.
I
think that's the reason why I picked the Cardinals, because I knew Purdy was hurt.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
Y'all both picked up on the Texans because I was just being funny and just picked the Titans just cause.
You wanted some mayo in your coffee, didn't you?
I wanted some mayo on my roast beef sandwich. Like if I ever even think about putting mayo on my coffee, you have full-fledged permission to slap me like Butthead does to Beavis.
The Christmas episode?
Yes.
You damn right.
Baseball bat?
You and that too. Hey, but next year it's on.
So our combined records, if we add our combined records,
let's hear it.
Come out to 490 wins and 222 losses.
Wow.
So almost 500 wins combined, almost 500 combined by the three of us. So
notice how way above 500 we were.
Okay, so
way above.
I'm just telling you, America, we know how to pick some football games,
but we don't get paid for it. We just sit here and have fun. I have fun between my brothers, and we sit here and talk a little ish.
That's all we do.
I mean, as much as I would love to see an upset, I don't see it happening in Kansas City. Unfortunately, I'm saying that the Chiefs will make another appearance in the AFC Championship game because it's just but here's one thing I am interested to see because in a sense the Chiefs as the Chiefs and we'll just say it like this, the Chiefs have really not played with their full squad since Christmas, so we're almost talking about almost a month here since the Chiefs number ones have played in a game. So that's. So I mean that's.
I see what you're saying. The layoff.
That's almost.
You're saying that layoff.
That's almost 4 weeks of not playing football. Now I know Andy Reid is a master of the bye week, and his record off the bye week has been legendary.
And his preparation and all stuff like that.
We know that and all that good stuff. But again,
look, rust is real.
Yes.
100%.
Ask
100%.
Rust is real.
Ask the top 4 seeds in the college football playoff.
Hello.
They all lost.
Hello.
Yep. Well, but here's the thing. Here's what I see happening. And, obviously time is going to tell whether I'm full of shit or if I'm talking real. But here's what I see happening. In this game, I see the Texans staying close in the first 2 quarters. And after halftime, once Kansas City knocks that rust off for the first 2 quarters, watch out. And I think that's where we see the thing about it is we know that Kansas City always has that burst, right? We've seen it too many times where second half they start to take over games. And I think that's what we're going to see the epitome of in this one is you're going to see, them trucking along a little bit, trying to get things going, trying to do their plays, get things moving, get the blood flowing too, because it's going to be cold. So getting everything going, and then right about halftime with no injuries, okay, right after halftime, when they come out of halftime, I don't think the Texans need to be able to survive that burst. If they do that, the game's going to stay close. If they don't, game over. Game over. And I think that what we saw with the Texans when they played last week when they're playing against I always want to call them San Diego, but when they're playing the Chargers,
they need to go back to San Diego. I know that.
I'm telling you,
they had a better fan base.
Yeah, because when they're playing at home, you might as well say they're on the road. I think that one of the things that I noticed when I was watching that game was you saw a lot of defensive letdowns in that first half from the Texans.
Yeah.
And when you started to see that, it was almost a thing of, because my wife picked San Diego, and I said, you know what, I'm going to let you go ahead with your picks, but this one kind of bothers me because I really don't think that San Diego has a chance to beat the Texans. Then when I was watching the game live in that first half, I was like, you know what? Maybe what I was thinking about the Texans and their defense wasn't correct. Maybe they are, kind of still trying to find themselves. And then come the second half, I'd shut the game off. I'm not going to lie, because I'm like, this is going to be a back and forth. I'll turn it on a little bit later. Turned it on. And I'm like, man, what happened? And then I saw the third and fourth picks from Herbert, and I'm like, okay, Texans found themselves on defense.
Yep.
And you could see the difference in the team once they did that. But here's the hard part. You're not playing at home, so you better bring it from play one, and you better have that same passion on defense from the start of the game. Because if it takes you a while to warm up, Kansas City's already blown you out.
100%.
Very well.
100%.
All right. Well, concluding with Saturday's action. I mean, it gets no better than prime time with the Commanders and the Lions in Detroit. I think this one is going to be a dandy. And
I'm a little torn on this one.
So am I.
I'm a little torn because I'll tell you the reason why I'm a little torn. We already at the beginning of the year on the Mizzle and Dub show, we did our NFL show. We picked the Lions to win the division and to get to the Super Bowl. Well, I at least did. But I didn't expect Jaden Daniels. I didn't expect Jaden Daniels to land this soon. What this young man has done to end the year, especially in the fourth quarter, delivering, throwing passes that some veterans can't even halfway throw when it's open. He's out there just playing football. And so what I believe in the fourth quarter, especially with the Lions defense not being a top notch, even though they trash the Vikings. I mean, who did they be? No. Who did they?
The Vikings.
The Vikings before the season ended.
Yeah.
But that kid is special out there in Washington, man.
He has given that fan base hope.
Yes. Now imagine if they were playing in the original RFK Stadium.
The Hogs and the Hogettes would be unleashed on that site. But he has given that fan base hope again. And it's a credit to Adam Peters. His first year as GM, of course, he left my organization being the right-hand man to John Lynch, and then what he's done together. And like we said, and we had talked about this leading up to the draft last year on the Mizzle and Dub Show, which, by the way, it's on the Mizzle and Dub Show YouTube channel. Like and more importantly, subscribe and tell a friend. But we kept saying that.
Bring a friend.
Adam Peters was not going to stand pat. He was not going to trade his pick because a lot of people, your organization included, wanted.
No, according to Adam Schefter, we didn't make that. We didn't even attempt to make a phone call, so I don't know what to believe.
That was probably because they knew that they were standing pat.
That's exactly what also was said. Is that as well?
Yeah, they were not turning out that pack. It's Adam Peters knew who he wanted. More importantly, yes.
Doesn't their head coach? Didn't he get a team to the Super Bowl?
Dan Quinn, yes.
Yeah, Dan Quinn got the. Hold on. You got the Atlanta Falcons to the head coach that lost.
Yes.
Yeah, but the point I was just trying to make is that we should not slightly be shocked at what this team is doing because Dan Quinn knows what it needs to do to get there because he's been there.
He does.
So,
as much flack as they want to give him for blowing the 23 lead, and rightfully so. But the fact is,
it was him and the OC.
True, but the fact of the matter is, he has gotten a team to a Super Bowl. Win
Yes,
or
that's
lose.
That's the point
he
I was
has
just trying to
got a
make.
team there.
Mhm.
So I am not as enamored with the Washington Commanders
Of course you're not.
as you guys are.
Of course not.
No. But it's not. It's not for the reasons you think. It's not
Nah.
because they're a division foe. I'm not as enamored with them for this reason. I think they're still about 2 years away from making a deep run in the playoffs. I think that they the win against the Tampa Bay Bucks was a very well earned win, but I also think that now you're going up against an established team that is going to take advantage of your soft defense. And don't get me wrong, that defense is soft. And you've got the two-headed monster coming back. So you got Montgomery coming back to the Lions. He's been injured. He'll be back to play on Sunday. Or I mean on Saturday night.
Yep.
So you've got the 1-2 punch.
That's
and
true.
in my eyes, there's too many weapons. Way too many weapons. There's too many weapons on the defense is soft. There's too many weapons on that offense for the Lions, for the Commanders to cover every aspect. So Jaden Daniels, you're right. He's got to show up because he's got to show up and put up points on the board. Because if not, this is the one game that I think if there's a game that could be a blowout, this is it.
Don't disagree. Now, doesn't this Commanders team give you that same feeling of what the Texans did last year?
Yeah.
Where you thought they were a few years away and you're like, oh,
Yep.
they're shocking us right now, but doing what they're doing. It seems like they're the same thing. But Chris, that's some good points. I totally forgot about Montgomery coming back.
Yep.
But
even though they could have probably still set him out another week because Jahmyr Gibbs is him.
Yes.
But having both of them back together, that's scary.
But
That's going to be scary.
When you got the 1-2 punch like that, and definitely pun intended, when you got Himothy 1 and Himothy 2,
yeah,
it's pick your poison. And the thing about it is, I think Ben Johnson is not going to hold back because Montgomery said last week that he could have played. He was ready to go. He could have played. He wanted to play. They held him out an extra week. So
fresh.
You're talking about not last week. Sorry, the final game of the season because they were on a bye last week.
Got me too with that the same thing.
he's had that 2 weeks to prepare. So I think he's itching to play. Yeah. And I think that it's going to be very hard to contain him. And I think what Ben Johnson is going to do, you might see both of them in the backfield at the same time in this game. Because if you want to show Washington something and you want to take advantage of a mismatch, that's a good way to do it in this game.
And then you can move one of them out in motion and line them up as a receiver, get that linebacker, or bring that safety down, and then you can go. Yeah.
It opens up one side of the field for deep passes, and we all know what St. Brown can do.
This is where I think, and you stole my thunder, but yes, this is where I think Amon-Ra St. Brown goes on a big feast.
Yep. Because you're not. The thing about it is, when you overload a side like that, especially when you're playing against a team, a Dan Quinn coach team, they play a lot of man defense. They don't play a lot of zone. So when you bump a running back out into the slot position, you're either going to get a mismatch with either a safety or a linebacker. And the thing about it is, if you do this, if you play it the right way and you're playing with two running backs, what they're going to do is you're going to probably be looking at a defense that's playing still, even if they play nickel and they've got that extra DB on the field, you're still going to slide a safety over to one side, which means you're man up on the other because everybody knows Quinn plays in man. So what is that going to do? Then now you can dictate Amon-Ra St. Brown playing as that single on the weakest cornerback in that group, and he's going to win all the time.
A lot of play action fake too. Especially
and Ben Johnson loves his play action.
Yes, indeed. And Goff can deliver on play action all day. And like we just said, put that motion out that one of the running backs, no matter interchange. Either you're going to move a linebacker, or like we just said,
Mhm.
going to bring that safety down.
The thing about it is once you bring that safety down and you got that one-on-one,
Yep.
and they used to talk about it when,
Hit
well,
this.
hell, I still even talk about it when I'm coaching. If we slide a man over and you see that safety move and you know that, okay, the linebacker is staying because they're afraid of your run game, which they would have to be. You as Washington, you're going to have to respect that run.
All
So
day.
play action is going to open up a whole lot of things
Yep.
for this game. And the thing about it is they do not yet have the corners in Washington. They've got one really good corner, and that's it.
Lattimore.
But you can bring those mismatches in, and once they start to do that, game over. So I think as long as Detroit can shut down Washington from time to time, they don't have to do every single possession. Shut them down a couple of times, and you'll see this game change. You'll see Detroit really take over.
Yeah.
So my obvious pick is Washington. Listen to me. My obvious pick is Washington. No, my obvious pick is Detroit.
I'm still sticking with my guns and still gonna go with Detroit, but it's just I think Washington will step up to the game, but I think maybe by the end of the third quarter, leading to the fourth, I think the Lions might, because they're gonna have to play 4 downs. We know we know we know what Campbell gonna do. He ain't special teams. Take a rest. We only gonna need field goals. That's maybe punting. We're not gonna do that. Washington's gonna have to play 4 downs, so they're gonna have to. The defense is gonna have to come with their lunch pails. It's gonna be good. But I'm sticking with the Lions. They're still my Super Bowl pick to get to the Super Bowl.
Your Super Bowl pick.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're my Super Bowl pick.
Dude, didn't we all pick them coming out the NFC?
Yes, we did.
The Lions are my non-homer Super Bowl pick to represent.
Yep, they were my non-homer. Yep.
Yeah, my non-homer too, if I'm not mistaken. So
yes, no, I remember the show. We all picked the Lions.
And the great thing about that is you could always go back and watch the show because it is already on there. So
yes, indeed.
Anybody who says, "Oh, you guys didn't do that," go back and watch the show. You'll see it.
Pretty much 5 hours worth, but yes, it's there.
It is there. All right, fast forward. Which, by the way, folks, before we forget, Texans and Chiefs, that will be on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus.
I think we all took the Chiefs on that one, right? We're right. Yeah, okay.
Commanders and Lions, that will be on Fox. That is the 5 p.m. game. So it's all afternoon, early evening game action on Saturday. Then on Sunday, at 12 p.m. noon on Peacock and NBC, it is the Eagles and the Rams in Philadelphia.
Now, this one's going to be good.
I'll say this.
It wasn't good earlier this year.
No, but I think both teams the Rams got better per se.
I don't know that the Rams got better. I think what the Rams have done is actually played to their potential.
Okay.
So, and I think that what we've seen, because remember, just when you want to go with the Rams, you watch them shit the bed like they did against the Seattle Seahawks.
There you go.
And yet then you see them play the Seattle Seahawks again and beat them. So which Rams team is going to show up? Number one. Number two, is it going to be the Rams that the Eagles played earlier this year where, Barkley had a feast?
What to the atonement of what, over 200 yards, 255?
Over 200 yards and I think 3 tutties. Yeah, 3 tutties to go with it.
Yeah.
So
made that 255 look easy.
And the thing about it is we forget, even though when they were playing, who the Eagles play last weekend?
The Packers.
The Packers. Thank you.
And struggle to put them away.
And see,
I agree with you. However, the last play when Saquon Barkley was way past everybody and went down to save, to go for the clock, to kill the clock. if that would have been their game plan because I mean, look, I don't think that the Eagles truly had the game plan to run Saquon. And in my humble opinion, the Eagles were bored with the game. And I'll point to the fact that you had one of their wide receivers sitting on the sideline reading a book. So I mean, it should tell you everything you need to know.
Did we say that? What we live when we said that? What we doing the when JP was here?
But here's what I say to that: Eagles played sloppy.
Yeah,
they
did.
They did enough to win the game. You can't do that against a prepared Sean McVay, or the Eagles will lose.
I think that what we are seeing and what we saw, I should say, with the Eagles, I think what we saw with the Eagles was basically them saying, okay, we're going to play not to get hurt.
Yeah.
We're going to play so that way we have our guys going forward. Exactly.
But doesn't that gets you hurt?
But what happened to Smith? Smith got hurt.
Yep. You can't play. You got to go all out.
And
yeah.
Not just that. And
well,
not just that, the Eagles lost a key piece on defense. Nakobe Dean is out for the rest of the
Yes,
playoffs.
indeed. Yes.
He injured his knee.
Yeah, he's out for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, here's the thing. If I'm the Eagles, what's my biggest fear factor with them? My biggest fear factor with them, in my eyes, is going to be their passing game because of Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp.
Mm-hmm.
Because they lost Higbee for the season as well.
Huge. That's huge. That's huge.
It is. So when you talk about that, the thing about it is if I'm the Eagles, I am going to be looking at my realistically my front seven stopping the run and not really worried about bringing anybody else up to stop that run game. I think that the Eagles can do it. I mean, they shut it down last time.
Newsflash: Tyler Higbee is expected to play against the Eagles.
Get that
really
here.
No, he's expected to play.
I thought he might have missed that game. Okay.
Oh no, I thought they said that he was done for the season.
Exactly.
No,
that was one of the announcements when they talked about it because remember he was there. They were saying he needed to have a big game and all this, and then he went out hurt, and they said he is not coming back, and he might be done for the season.
Yeah. Well, I heard that on Sports Talk Radio today that losing Higbee was huge. Well, that's why. So wow. Okay. Mr. Miyagi must have did some work. Hey.
Well,
okay.
I got CBS, NBC, Police Report, Rams Wire.
No, we're not doubting you, brother.
No,
I'm just saying what I heard this morning. Dropping my son off at school.
Hey, I understand, but
I wonder if it's one of those situations where he felt he could play, and they said, "Okay, let's get a doctor's opinion." The first doctor that they got said, "Nah, man, you're done." The second doctor that they got said, I think you could play.
Put an extra zero on my check, and he can play.
This is only the third time. This is only the third time. This is only the third time the Eagles and well, technically it's the fourth time the Eagles and Rams have met in the playoffs, but in the Super Bowl era, it's the third time now. These two teams first met in the 1949 NFL Championship game, which was won by the Eagles 14-0. Then they met in the NFC wildcard game back in the 88 season or in the 89 season, which the Rams won 21-7. And then the last time they met in the playoffs was the 2001 NFC Championship game. That was the greatest show on turf. That was Donovan McNabb's first NFC title game. And the Eagles gave him a great round, but the Rams got by 29-24, and the Rams went on to Super Bowl 36 before losing to Brady and the Patriots and Vinatieri's game in field goal. Of course, that was the last NFC title game broadcasted by Pat Summerall and John Madden, so that makes me kind of sad. But now this is the fourth all-time meeting of the playoffs between the Rams and the Eagles. This.
Sorry, I'm giggling because my wife just asked when the playoffs start tomorrow. I said no, it's Saturday. She goes, "Oh, okay." I need to do my picks. I said, you should be listening to the show right now. And she said, no, I'll just ask you.
Y'all gonna have to check my temp. I'm picking the damn Rams. This is my upset pick.
Ooh, see, I might be right behind you with that.
So, boys, I'll tell you right now, I'm picking the Eagles.
I'm going
and
Rams.
there's no hesitation in me whatsoever.
I'm not being hesitant. I just
Rams.
As much as I would love for the Eagles to win, I just think the Eagles might come out sloppy again, and I just think Sean McVay might take advantage of that. And plus,
I trust Sean McVay over
Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, I trust McVay.
And
well,
of course,
let me tell you,
and of course you've been Chris, but you've been talking about this all year. Is you don't trust the play calling of Kellen Moore, and that might rear its ugly head.
Well, he knows
on Sunday.
Well, so there's a couple of things that I got to look at though when I'm talking about the differences between these two teams. One of the things that I will point out is the Rams don't play very well in the cold weather. They're playing in Philly. Number one,
it's going to be cold in Philly too.
Correct.
Yep. Number two, who has a better run game? Because if it's windy, you're not going to be able to throw the ball around the field. So you got to look at who has a better run game. In my eyes, the better run game is the Eagles. They got the better running back and the better offensive line.
Just say his name, brother. It's Saquon.
No, I can't say Saquon because he's still in my division. I wish he would have got his ass out. So that's the two pieces that I've got to look at right now. And 100%. The third piece is I agree with you. I don't trust Kellen Moore 100%. But the other side of it is that I've got to look at and be honest, very honest with myself. Kellen does have the capability from game to game when things are getting sloppy to lean on his run game. And when you have a running back like Saquon and an offensive line like the Eagles have, the Eagles literally, and I would tell both of you to please show me this season, better yet, show me in the last two seasons where anybody has been able to stop the tush push. So when you were talking about goal line situations, the Eagles aren't going to be kicking field goals. The Rams will be.
Facts. And to answer your question, I can't show you any footage of anybody stopping that damn play.
And that's the problem when we talk about the Eagles. Do I like talking about the Eagles in my own division? Hell no. Do I like talking about the Eagles, period? Hell no. But I got to be real, and I got to talk about what I see with them.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. So my pick, you guys could go with the Rams. I'm going with the Eagles. I think that the Eagles, personally, I think they have a vendetta, and I think they have a chip on the shoulder to play. Now, Dub, I agree with you with the sloppiness, but I will also point out the fact that there is a team that manhandled the Ravens, and that was the Eagles. And you saw, instead of a cornerback making a business decision, you saw a cornerback go up and hit King James like I call him King, hit Henry like he was not even there. So the fact of the matter is, I think that if I gotta pick the better defense, and to me, the better defense of the Eagles.
Hit us with the long wolf, brother.
However,
yeah.
However, I will say this: yes, they're playing in the cold, but you gotta understand the cold weather does not affect Matthew Stafford. So Stafford's not going to be affected by the cold.
And you are 100% correct, but Matthew Stafford, last time I checked, doesn't catch the football.
That is correct.
Matthew Stafford doesn't run the football.
Well, not
so
used to.
We could potentially be looking at a Lions, Eagles, NFC Championship game. I mean, I know me and Dub picked the Rams, but wow, that would be something to watch too, though.
Yeah,
it would be.
That would be fun.
Fact, now Now I gotta look at the weather for
Orchard Park, New York.
Philly.
The Orchard Park Bills and the Baltimore Ravens, to which again, it is already snowing in Buffalo. Bills Mafia is already ready to bust out some plunder. And
Well, the plunder has already been broken. They're on their way back to the store to go replace the plunder they already broken.
Oh yeah, they get some more plunder for sure.
They've been partying since last week.
But still, the Ravens are still -1. The total is 50.
They got the Ravens winning this game by 2.
The Ravens are -1. Money line is Buffalo even, and the total is 50.
What's the over under? What's the over under?
51.5.
So they're basically saying no defense.
Correct.
Hey, by the way, gentlemen, Sunday in Philly, high of 34, low of 23, 60% chance of snow.
Oh, baby.
Oh no. Run game.
Well,
So you sure you don't want to flop your picks right now? I'll give you an opportunity.
There's nothing on the line with this one. We're just having fun now. So I don't. Now, if this was for if we were doing like a little side something on top of what we did at the end of the season, then yes, I will flop over and pick the Eagles.
we should do another bottle of our drinks on this one.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Understand.
Just saying.
The Rams. Understand. I want the Rams to lose because they're my division.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm just saying.
Here,
sometimes
what I've been saying.
Too fickle for me.
Football knowledge. Pick the Eagles. Gut. I think Matthew Stafford and McVay can put something together to try to make it happen.
Well, I would like to see what they have on the I'd like to see what McVay has on his sheet for snow. Just saying. Like to see what he's got on his sheet for snow.
Hey, I get it. That's why they play the game. All right.
Yep.
Bills, Ravens, very intriguing matchup. Of course, this game takes place 3:30 p.m. Pacific time on CBS and Paramount Plus. Obviously, you got two MVP candidates in the two-time MVP Lamar Jackson and, of course, Josh Allen. Both are very mobile, both have seen the rock. But like I said, it is expected to be very, very in Orchard Park, New York. And the game time weather is supposed to be 20 degrees in Orchard Park, New York.
You do realize that with this spread, Baltimore is actually favored by 4.
Oh.
So it's supposed to be
because they're favored by it's -1 right now, and they're saying the money line is even, but home teams get 3 points automatically, and they're saying Baltimore -1, so Baltimore is actually favored by 4.
So Sunday
Wow.
is supposed to be in Orchard Park, New York. 24 is the high. 10 is the low.
Did you say 10? 10?
Supposed to be 10 supposed to be lower.
Yes.
Winds at the northwest at 6 miles per hour. Wind gusts at 15 miles per hour.
A good portion of that stadium ain't gonna have those shirts on.
25%. 25% chance.
Oh, don't worry. Somebody be doing the scorpion out in the parking lot again. We got to get that picture on here. We got to get that video on here.
I died when I sent y'all that video.
How do you totally miss the table?
So
That's all I want to know.
Bills Mafia.
Bills Mafia.
Enough said.
Mafia.
Enough said.
That's all you can say. But I mean,
guys that piss their pants to keep warm. I get it.
Do you really? Wow, he went there.
I love the wife giggle in the background.
Which, by the way, again, happy anniversary to the Veras.
Yes.
31.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, happy anniversary for sure.
Yes, indeed.
Not like we've been married for a long time or anything. It's a short time. You're not supposed to laugh at that.
Seems like 50 years.
Honey, stop. 31 years, and this woman's going to say it feels like 50.
Oh,
Wow.
baby.
She's probably hiding your cleats again.
No, she stopped hiding my cleats.
Okay. But Ravens, I mean, this really could be the ultimate chess match because of what both quarterbacks can do with their versatility and throwing the ball and running the ball. Obviously, we know what Derrick Henry can do, and this seems like a Derrick Henry type of a game for the Ravens.
And also be Cook now.
But also James Cook
can run the ball too.
Could this game possibly come down to which team makes the first little mistake and the team that takes advantage? Do you think that possibly could be the difference in this game?
It's not going to be. It's not going to be a possible. It is 100%.
100%.
I think that these guys are going to go blow for blow.
They would have to score. They would have to score. They can't get the turnover, the mistake, and not do nothing with the mistake. They will have to literally get something out of it. So when you got two mobile quarterbacks and two good running backs on both sides, I mean, decent receiver play on both sides as well.
I think so.
Both of them got good tight ends. This is a matchup that you want in playoffs. A good one that it's a toss-up because guess what? You don't know which Josh Allen you're going to get as well. Are you going to get the good one that's an MVP candidate? Are you going to get that, Josh Allen playing sloppy? Or is it the Lamar choke? Is it the Lamar can't get past this?
I was just going to say, are we going to see who are we going to say is going to be the choke artist in this game? Because I think that, we have a potential for both of them, but for some reason, and don't ask me why, we've seen Josh Allen in some of these playoff games get the deer in the headlights look in the past.
You're not lying,
I'm hoping, I'm really hoping that's not what we're going to see this time.
Yeah.
But for some reason, and don't ask me why, I can't put my finger on it. Miz, you said it earlier. The difference between this and this,
yeah,
it isn't a gut or a head feeling. It is just something that struck me where I think that Josh Allen is going to get that deer in the headlights. And I think that the Ravens are going to win this game. The interesting piece about this is that I think that Josh Allen is in a position to really make a deep run this year. And I think that if there's a quarterback, I think that can stay with and possibly beat Mahomes, it is Allen. But I also think that with the way this is all setting up right now, it won't matter because everything goes through KC. 100%. So my thought is if I see the Ravens beat the Bills, the Ravens are going to be my favorite to beat Kansas City. So I agree with you. This is a toss-up. I could literally take a coin and flip it for which team I think is going to win. But right now, like I said, I'm going to go with the Ravens because I just have this feeling. I can't explain it.
No.
Can't explain it. I'm just going to go with the Ravens.
There's no explanation needed because you just came out, explained it, flat out picked the team, made a good point through it. And I have no argument or rebuttal to that. There's that perfect points. Dub, who you got?
Well, no, I'm also going with the better defense, in all honesty.
Yeah, that's where I was going to get to too. But Dub, who you got?
If not now for Lamar Jackson.
When?
Yep. You won the MVPs. Okay.
I think the MVP, whoever wins this game, isn't your MVP.
You went away from what worked last year, which was the running game. You literally paid Derrick Henry that money for this situation. This
in the cold
opportunity in the cold. You paid him that money to be the bell cow. Okay. I love Bills Mafia. Okay. I've been very high on the Bills the last few years, but the Bills keep breaking my heart. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Well,
Quote
hell,
the Ravens.
this fan
Never
base
more.
has been cursed a lot when it comes to the Super Bowl or playoffs. 4 straight years and don't get a W.
So, quote the Raven, nevermore. I think Mr. Henry will carry the Ravens to a second consecutive AFC Championship game. Because, oddly enough, go figure, the last time the Ravens hoisted Lombardi, it was inside the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, where Super Bowl 59 just
The
happens to be
lights.
this year.
Oh, we're going on.
Yeah,
now.
and there's
Be no
against your
Beyonce,
your
but
Niners.
there will be no Beyonce turning out the lights because Kendrick Lamar will tell them they're not like us.
I'm gonna agree with both of you guys. I'm gonna ride with the Ravens as well too because I believe Derrick Henry legs along with Lamar Jackson's legs will carry them. Mark Andrews will have a silent good game because I believe the play action game will work for them because again they're gonna try to contain Lamar and Derrick Henry, so that means you're gonna see a lot of 8 in the box per se. I think Josh Allen would have a good game, but I think he makes that one turnover that's going to benefit the Ravens. And I do have the Ravens winning this one.
Well, my fear for Josh Allen is the fact that he likes to carry the football like a loaf of bread when he's running.
That's why I say he make that turnover.
And yeah, I think that in this cold weather, look, both Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson's hands are friggin' catcher's mitts. They both have very large hands, but at the same time, I think Lamar, when he starts to run, will cradle the ball like a running back a little bit more, and he's a little less haphazard with the ball. So the interesting piece to me is going into this game, who's the healthiest? But I want to get by that too, and also say, and we said it earlier, who's got the better defense? The biggest thing about this is, are we going to see the Ravens play them twice a year, and they always have a tough time with them, usually. I shouldn't say always, but usually they have a tough time with them, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why? Because they stay with lane integrity when they're rushing. So my question mark is, could we possibly see the Ravens take a page out of the Steelers playbook, rush Josh Allen with lane integrity, and make him into a passer where he doesn't always excel as a pure passer? That's not Josh's game. And if you start making him, putting pressure on him to make quick passes and to make up his mind quickly, he tends to give the ball away. So these are the things that worry me about picking Buffalo. Now, I could be completely wrong, and after Sunday we'll know, but I just feel like it's one of those situations where if I had to pick a team that could make a quarterback make mistakes, it's definitely the Ravens defense against the Bills offense.
Big.
And Cook ain't getting loose like he has in the past. He's not getting loose against these guys. He'll have his runs, but he is not getting loose. Henry, on the other hand, we might see a couple of angry runs out of him.
And Roquan Smith ain't going to allow that to happen.
No. So it's going to be interesting.
Definitely got the Ravens. Very, very, very spot on.
That is your Elite Eight in the NFL. But real quickly, there is a game on Monday to crown a champion in college football. The Ohio State Buckeyes taking on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Just real quickly before we put a bow on this one, who do you guys like to hoist the trophy in Atlanta, Georgia on Monday?
I would like for Marcus Freeman to get a championship. I didn't see enough Ohio State and what they have done, that program. Good for Ryan Day to shut up the naysayers and all the media when they want to crucify him and said he needs to be fired to get his team there. But I would like to see Marcus Freeman and the Fighting Irish get one. Mainly for Freeman.
Okay. This is another one where we watched, and I don't know if you guys watched the game. I watched both games. I watched both games where we watched a team that I thought was going to be a better team go up into Oregon and get spanked. And then I watched a team that I thought Oregon was going to spank, dish out the spankings. This is one of those games where you have so much time to get ready and prepare. And my question mark is still going to be, and nobody can answer this for me, does Ohio State have enough on defense to stop a running quarterback? That scares me. But on the other side, does Notre Dame have enough in the secondary to stop the passing game of Ohio State?
Especially Smith. Even though I know, Dub, you can bring up the stat the last game. He got held to whatever that was. But yeah, I don't see that happening in this game. I don't see him getting
so, and you very well could be right.
Unless it's a masterclass defense come out there, and we know it's a copycat league, so they're gonna look at the film to what the team did to hold them one catch. But
they're gonna bracket them. They're gonna try to take certain wide receivers away.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is Ohio State's got way too much on offense.
Yes.
And the biggest one that I think is going to be the problem for them is the fact that Notre Dame does not have everything that they could on defense to stop them. So if I've got to go straight off of that, while I would like to see Notre Dame get one, I think that Ohio State's going to wind up winning the Natty.
Yeah, I agree to that. I agree with that. I would love for Freeman to get one, but I think Ohio State is the better team per se, I would say.
And don't get me wrong, I think that with this showing, I think you're going to see Notre Dame get better going into next season.
Agreed. I agree.
So I will be watching that game on Monday with a lot of anticipation, because there's a lot of players that are going to be coming out in the NFL draft from both these squads.
Agreed.
And I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do, because you've got a lot of those players that in the past would be, hey, I'm not playing in this game because I'm going to the NFL. A lot of them got that NIH money. They don't have to worry about it. So we'll see what happens, man. I think that it's going to be a good game. I think they're going to have a feeling out process in the first quarter.
Yes.
I think that we'll start seeing some better scoring in the second. And I think that the second half is going to be a free-for-all. So let's see what happens.
Love it. Agreed.
Dub, where you at?
Cheer for old Notre Dame. Wake up the echoes, cheering her name.
He's going with the helmets.
They better say more than a couple Hail Marys.
Well, all I'm saying is this. They should have lost to Penn State, and they showed tremendous heart and determination and came back and won. I thought them not sticking with the backup quarterback that led them to a field goal, and they went back to Miller. I thought that would bite them. It did not. All I know is this. Marcus Freeman will have them ready. And this is why I think Notre Dame can pull out, because there's too much pressure on Ohio State. There's too much pressure on Ryan Day. Even though most of this is done because of the doggone fans, and mainly because of Stephen A. Smith.
Yep.
But however,
this is true, but I think that you also have you made a point that I really do like, and that is the fact that Notre Dame pulled it off against a Penn State team that I thought was better. And you're right, they pulled it off. But I also think that you are now stepping up to a Ohio State team that is 3 or 4 notches better than Penn State.
I don't disagree that Penn State is the better team if we're doing this on paper, but this is why you play the game. And I just think somehow, some way, touchdown Jesus might intervene, and the luck of the Irish might stick out. And plus,
Well, like I said,
and plus, now hearing what I'm saying, I think Ohio State should win. I don't want them to win, but I think they should win. But I just can't root for Ohio State. I just can't do it.
I can't either. I mean, come on. As a Florida State fan, do you really think I could root for Ohio State?
Thank you.
I can't root for them either.
No,
but I'm
Chris.
just being, I'm just being honest.
No, I'm saying
with,
Ohio State
and I know you're not arguing.
Ohio State should win. They should.
Yes.
But I'm rooting for Notre Dame. So this is one of these games.
Look,
this is one of those games to where I'm rooting with my heart, not with my head.
100%.
And I am rooting with my heart too when I say I'm rooting for Notre Dame, believe it or not. I'm just saying who I think is going to win with my head.
I hear you.
So I would absolutely love to see Notre Dame win. Matter of fact, because we're sitting here and we're talking about it, and there's guys that I'm sure that have listened that are bettors, I would like to know what the line is in the game on Monday night.
According to ESPN Bet, it is
I was just going to the scores to see what they are.
Ohio State -8. Over under is 46.5. Money line is Notre Dame plus 290, -380 for Ohio State. And that is according to ESPN Bet.
Yep, Ohio State by 8, 45.5. Notre Dame money line 290. Wow, I would have never thought about that.
And basically, if you want to try to get in the door to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, tickets are as low as $1,417.
Nope.
You.
Hey, you know what? I got
even if I had it, no.
I'll tell you what. I would definitely consider it if I had it, but I've got the best seat in the house. Not to mention the fact that I can use the bathroom by myself without 100,000 of my closest friends joining me.
Indeed.
And guess what, brother? You can go to the liquor store and get something to drink way cheaper than you can spend going into any arena.
Exactly. And I was just going to say,
I will say more for your money.
My beer is free when you look at the prices in the stadiums. So I don't know, man. Monday night, I might have to drink me some rum. I might have to be a rummy on Monday.
Well, if I get back home in time, I think we're going to be doing a watch. Are we still planning on trying to do that, Dub?
That's the plan.
Okay.
That is the plan of all plans of all plans.
I love having animals.
Uh-oh. River's making its return.
Yeah,
we appreciate you guys hanging out with us as we talk division playoffs. I just want to give a real quick spot on the national championship game between Notre Dame and Ohio State. Midwest battle for the national championship in Atlanta, Georgia. And, of course, give a few thoughts on Mr. Baseball, the Hall of Famer, the legendary Bob Uecker, who we lost today at the age of 90. The man took a mediocre baseball career to live a Hall of Fame life. And definitely will be watching the tradition that is known as Major League. That's going to put me to sleep tonight.
Oh, I already got it on the TV. The moment that we close it out, the play button.
Hey, what? Double know this. What WrestleMania was it when Andre the Giant choked him?
That would be WrestleMania 4.
Indeed.
Thank you.
And not to mention, Bob Uecker was also the special guest ring announcer in back-to-back.
That's right.
In WrestleMania 3 and 4, he was the ring announcer for Hulk and Andre at the Pontiac Silverdome in WrestleMania 3. And, of course, the big hands of Andre choking him out and his great facial expressions.
Big is an understatement.
At WrestleMania 4. And, of course, he made a whole bunch of people jealous when he got kissed by Vanna White at WrestleMania 4. Yes, Vanna White was a part of WrestleMania 4 as well. And not to mention, now, of course, Chris knows this because, well, I mean, we all were watchers of The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, the ultimate king of late night. There is no one that will ever hold a candle to Johnny Carson, but Bob Uecker was a recurring guest
Truth.
over 100 times. Bob Uecker was on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and it was actually Johnny Carson that gave him the nickname Mr. Baseball.
Mr. Base, yep.
Yep. Actually, he would welcome him as Mr. Baseball.
Mr. Baseball.
Yes.
Yes, he would. And not to mention, of course, the Euchre seats, of course, with the infamous Miller Lite commercials. He missed the tag. He missed the tag. So, of course,
Excuse me, sir. You're in the wrong seats. Oh, I must be in the front row.
The legendary Miller Lite commercial. Like, when I think Miller Lite beer, I think him and I think John Madden. I think of John Madden tearing through the screen and still talking when the commercial's about to go off. And, of course, Euchre in the Euchre seats with his Miller Lite. So I'm pretty sure there's been a lot of Miller Lite toasts tonight for the Euchre, Bob Euchre. Like I said, I've been
Get some Michelob
trying to piece what I've been trying to say because, I mean, Bob Euchre. Like
Sorry,
I said,
brother. You
Bob
got a
Uecker-
Dos Equis.
Brandon, how do you turn a 2-pointer into a 3-pointer blue? Now, see,
What?
that's something Scott McCorkle would say. Since Scott McCorkle always likes to talk about Blue Chew.
Man, I ain't gonna mention a damn thing about Blue Chew. I'm just gonna leave that shit alone. I ain't gonna say nothing. Keep it all to myself.
But anyhow, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us here on this divisional playoff preview of Talking Ish with Dub, Chris, and Mizzle. Please like us, tell a friend, share with your friends, but more importantly, subscribe as we will be coming to you previewing Championship Sunday. Who will make it to the conference championship game and have a chance to hoist the Lamar Hunt and the George S. House Trophy? Oh, one more thing before we go. And yes, Chris, it is going back to your beloved Cowboys. How do you really feel about this whole Deion Sanders talking possible wants the job, don't want the job?
We didn't even discuss that. We talked about that.
What does your gut tell you about this situation?
We
that
talked
is
about
going
this in
on
pre-show.
Arlington, Texas.
Do you really want to know?
Passion.
I mean, do
Put
you
it up
really
there.
want to know?
Put it up there. Passion.
Unleash it.
So, as I said
Release the
before,
Kraken.
they talked about Dak going to the Titans and a first-round pick, fourth-round pick this year, third-round pick next year, $104 million under the dead cap. I literally posted this online, and I'll say it again. If Jerry Jones decides to do that shit, he is not only the dumbest owner I've ever seen in my life. The man should have everything stripped away from him, and he should be committed, because he would be the absolute that would be the absolute stupidest move you can make, because you're setting a team back not just 1 year, not just 2 years, not just 3 years, but 4 years minimum to do something like that. Because even if you take and have the first pick in the draft this year, and let's say for shits and giggles, you take Travis Hunter, you take Shedeur Sanders, they cannot make up for the amount of players you cannot have on that squad because of the impact that you would have with the dead cap money, period. You have 27 free agents in this upcoming season. Who is going to play for the Cowboys? You can dress 46 players, which is supposed to change, if I'm not mistaken, for next year. You can have 53 on the roster, And now everybody could tell me how, well, not everybody counts against the salary cap. You are correct. But what are you going to do with the players that can't play? What are you going to do with the 27 free agents that you have? You going to go get guys off the street to go play for your team? Is Dion that great of a coach that he could coach these players up, that they're going to have a decent season? Forget winning season, because you ain't having a winning season. You are not going to have – look, if they did this, the Cowboys would be lucky to win 3 games. Ooh. And you could say we're building for the future. What future? What future? Look it up and understand how stupid it is to even bring that up, because there's 2 things that you have to understand when you start talking about trading Dak. First off, he just signed his new deal. So you're not getting around the dead cap piece.
Yep.
Secondly, the man still has a no trade clause.
Boom.
Understand that. So to sit there and say, oh, we're just going to trade him and take the number 1 pick. No, you're not. Because if he doesn't want to go there, guess what? It's getting vetoed. So all I could say is, if Dion wants to come to Dallas, come to Dallas and understand the players that you have. Show us that you could coach them at a pro level and understand that Dak is going to be your quarterback moving forward. Period. So to all the people that want Deion Sanders, there's a reason why they say ex-players don't always make the greatest coaches. My other part to play to that is, if Deion is coming to be the next coach, why haven't they interviewed him officially? So say what you want. You have Robert Saleh is interviewing tomorrow. You've got Kellen Moore, who's interviewing either later Friday or Saturday. You've got a couple of other coaches.
Friday.
Yeah, and you've got Leslie. Oh, shoot, why can't I think of his last name right now?
Frazier,
thank you. He's going to be interviewing on Saturday. So you have guys that are coming in to interview. If Deion is going to be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, when's his interview? I mean,
they don't have to wait. They can interview him right now.
Exactly, because he's a college coach. You don't have to ask for permission.
Or are they saying the open communication that him and Jerry Jones are having, is that like is that the interview there? As you see, I'm using heavy quotations.
Look, bottom line is, if Jerry Jones always got his way on this team, Johnny Manziel would have been our quarterback years ago.
Oh, I think his son stopped that from happening. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, the son, he was ready to draft Johnny Manziel.
He slid Johnny Manziel's name over. Stephen Jones took one look at it and threw it in the trash. So that's not who we're picking. So Jerry can sit there and say this is going to be 100% on him all he wants. The fact of the matter is, I think that there are some cooler heads in the room that prevail. I think Will McClay is one of them. I think Stephen Jones is another, even though I like to call him Catboy, because that's exactly what he is. We don't have any money to do anything. Yeah, okay, you can make – here's the beauty of this. You keep Dak. You keep things the way they are, the Cowboys can make $109 million under the salary cap tomorrow if they wanted to. They could go out and sign whoever they want. Micah Parsons, if they were to sign him to an extension, he would actually cost less this year going into next year for the salary cap, and they could spread his bonus and a bunch of his pay over the years, and they can also go after other players. Something to think about, and it's something that I wrote down, and anybody who wants to look it up can. This is not hearsay. This is fact. You can find this online, and it was a very interesting piece that I saw, so I made sure to copy it. This year, 12 players average for the Eagles. 12 players average over $10 million salary, with $63 million in dead cap money this year. Still aggressively added free agents via cap manipulation, trying to win a Super Bowl. Cowboys, 7 players averaging over $10 million a year, $27 million in dead cap money, cried poverty, and signed no one.
That's
Tells
dirty
you
work.
everything you need to know.
That's dirty work.
Yeah.
Well, on that
Tells you
note,
everything you need to know.
evening, Pastor. How are you? Even my pastor checking in on Talking Edge. Appreciate you.
Well, I'm just glad it wasn't him talking about Blue Chew. That would have been awkward.
Oh, baby.
I'm just saying.
On that note,
On that note, Chris is going to hell.
as we talk about the playoffs, who will advance to the NFC and AFC championship games on this upcoming Saturday and Sunday. Before you can even think about hoisting Lombardi, you must first get to Lamar Hunt. And
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Who will make it, or who will, before you can think about Lombardi, you got to get Lamar, the Hunt Trophy and the Hallis Trophy first before all that takes place.
Yes.
But we will see. The final 8 will eventually become 4, and then the final 4 will become 2, and the 2 will come to New Orleans. And the shiny silver trophy that is the Vince Lombardi Trophy will be awaiting the Super Bowl winner for Super Bowl 59. But in the meantime, wherever you may be watching playoff Saturday and the playoff Sunday in the divisional round,
Work.
well, Saturday, first game.
Laughlin.
Well, game 1.
Saturday and Sunday, I'll both be at work.
First game Saturday, I'll be at the job. Second game in the confines of my home. Sunday,
Is championship week after the week after?
yes.
Like another. Oh, fellas.
Yeah, I don't think they have a bye week, so I think it's the
Fellas.
week after.
Only the Super Bowl gets 2 weeks.
I'm
That's
off
right.
that weekend. We got to do it.
So are you perhaps talking about a championship Sunday watch along during the
We got to do it. We
championship?
got to do it. I'm off
I'm
that
in.
week.
I'm in.
What did you say,
I will be watching, unlike you guys, I'll be watching the game on Saturday from Laughlin, both games from Laughlin. On Sunday, hopefully I'll be home to watch the games.
Yep, the uke hurts, cuz.
Yes. Losing
For sure.
is a huge loss, certainly for, and we're not even talking about Mr. Belvedere or what he did on Mr. Belvedere for 4 seasons.
We didn't even touch that. A frequent guest.
No, Mr. Belvedere. No, he was a part of the cast on Mr. Belvedere for all 4 seasons that it lasted on ABC.
Was it 4? I thought it was 5.
4 or 5. I just know it went from the mid '80s,
Anyway.
and it ended right after the Bay Bridge World Series. Mr. Belvedere
Yep.
was still on the air, so we okay. Here's and this is the part I don't understand. Like, okay, we know technically 1985 to 1989 is technically 4 years, but yet it's 5 seasons.
Correct.
Someone has to explain to me the difference, but we can do that on another show. But nonetheless, I've said this about 3 times already. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
It happens, bro.
With Chris and Mizzle. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us as we talk about football. So if your team is still in it, good luck.
If you're a Chiefs fan, F off.
And if your team isn't still in it, you could join us on the couch, just like the rest. You could join us all on the couch, man. There's plenty of room.
Come and talk football with us. Like I said, there's a combined 13 Lombardi trophies on the couch right now as we speak.
Unfortunately, and they're on the couch.
Yes, they're all on the couch, getting polished. But nonetheless, appreciate you
Exactly.
guys. Until next week when we preview the championship game. Enjoy Rams.
Asta.
Eagles, enjoy the Commanders and the Lions. Enjoy the Texans and the Chiefs. Well, some anyway. And enjoy the Bills and Ravens. In the meantime, we're just 3 guys talking some ish. Good night, America. And Good morning, Canada. Or buenas noches.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Good night, all. Thanks for watching.